Hi there, these comments are for UL. I'm using your initials for privacy purposes, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the online TOEFL course, the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. So you sent me an email. I'm going to take a look at what you said right now so I can answer your questions. So you say, my name is UL. I have, and I would put here, I have lived in Canada for 11 years. Maybe instead of and here, use 3 independent clauses. So, hi sir, my name is UL. I have lived in Canada for 11 years. And my background is Vietnamese. So you're putting independent clause 1, 2, and 3, joining together with and. Say, last month I took the TOEFL exam. Maybe say the word but here. And receive my score, which is low. They are. I would say it is. Or you can say the subtotals. See, the subtotals are reading 14, listening 12, speaking 17, writing 19, and the total is 62. I would say here past tense, not present perfect. I applied to college and they require a score of 90. As a result of my low score, I really need your help. I already researched and I chose to study with you. I would say here present. I know your comments for many students who have the same struggle as mine. Again, use present tense. I know that I have to read at least 45 minutes a day and listen 1 hour a day. I will start doing it today, but I still need your help to join a course with an experienced instructor like you. I have 2 to 3 months to pass the TOEFL. Maybe put a period here, start your next sentence. Otherwise, I will have to change my program. Thanks for reading this. I appreciate your advice. All right. Well, UL. Now, this is tough. I'm going to be honest with you. Anybody that will tell you, whenever people make comments and ask questions, I just tell you how it is. It isn't likely that you can go from 62 to 90 in 2 to 3 months. However, it is likely you could do it maybe between 3 to 6 months. I think that's more realistic. Your time frame is just not enough, unfortunately. You have to improve a lot with the reading, the listening areas. It's going to take time to get those up. I mean, let's face it here. You've been in Canada for 11 years. And your TOEFL score is still low. Your speaking score is low. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because if you've been living in Canada, an English-speaking country, for 11 years, your speaking score should be about 25 to 26 out of 30. It should be really high. But that tells me you're probably not using English that much. You must be speaking a lot of Vietnamese. So you have some very stubborn language problems that probably cannot be solved in just 2 to 3 months. That's the first bit of advice I can give you. Now, you may not want to hear it, but it is the truth. So here's my recommendation. Now, you already know about the reading and the listening. Remember, you're focusing on notes, and you're also trying to write and speak about that information. So start doing that immediately. Now, the other thing is you have to change your interaction right now with other people in Canada because you're not getting enough English practice, because if you were, your TOEFL score would be a lot higher than this. So every day find opportunities to use English. I mean as much as you possibly can. Remember that Vietnamese and English are very different. They are completely different languages when it comes to pronunciation. So part of your problem when you're speaking English, you might not be pronouncing the medial and the final consonant sounds. You'll have some problems with intonation. You'll probably be using intonation in the wrong areas, or not using the high or the low type inflections in English the way you need to. So you're going to struggle. It's going to take some time for you to improve in these areas. So here's my recommendation. You can, of course, when you become one of my students, you can use my course any way you like. You can do anything you want. But here's my recommendation, honestly. You have to look at about a 3 to 6 month timetable. So first of all, focus on the vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar sections of my course first. I'm not going to recommend a specific study guide for you because I don't think that's realistic. I think you should go through the first 3 sections of my course. You need to really focus on improving your vocabulary. That's very important. You can also study pronunciation and grammar. What you can do is each day you can pick a lesson in those 3 areas. You can do a vocabulary lesson, for example. Then you can do a pronunciation lesson. Then you can do a vocabulary lesson. That way you don't get too bored by trying to study just vocabulary or just pronunciation or just grammar, right? So that's my first recommendation. That'll probably take you more than a month. So once you've completed the vocabulary, pronunciation, and the grammar lessons, then move to the reading and the listening sections of my course. Then for the next month or 2, focus on completing listening and reading lessons. That's my second suggestion. Then the third suggestion will be then complete the writing and the speaking lessons of my course. This is where you'll get feedback from me as you're doing your speaking and writing practice. You'll be recording things for me to listen to. You'll be posting things online for me to read. And actually my teaching assistant will score your writing. So let me show you how the speaking works. Most people understand the writing, but a lot of people say, well, Michael, how in the world do you listen to my speaking task? Well, here's how I do it. I have a IBT speaking practice Voxy Pop discussion group, and my students will post, and you will too. You'll be posting your practice tests here. This guy's also Vietnamese here, I'm pretty sure. He just posted Independent Speaking Practice Test 4. He did this one, I think, a day ago. So he makes his comment here.
City, and I would choose San Jose.
So he answers the question, right? What I do is once I listen to it, I will use I'll actually use the rubrics to give him an accurate score, as you can see here. So I'll give him a score out of 30 all the way down to 0. I'll give him an estimate of where his speaking score is and why. And of course, I will make comments after he posts his response.
These comments are for Trevistre.
And that's what I'll do to you too. So that's how you receive your feedback. And it takes about 24 hours. So when you post your practice test, typically I will listen to it the next day. Remember that a lot of my students, we're all on different time zones. We're all over the world. I teach students from 60 countries everywhere. So I usually get to your response in about 24 hours after you complete it. So it is important because I will help you a lot with pronunciation and also with your speaking. But remember, if you're trying to solve all your problems in 2 to 3 months, that's not fair to you. It's not fair to me. You probably are going to need more time than that to solve all the problems that you have. Remember, Rome was not built in a day. All right, so I think that's it. So I've gone over what I need to go over, and I'll be very happy to have you as a student. Now remember that everything that I've just done in this video, I've given you suggestions of how you can use my course. Of course, you have the agency to use my lessons any way you like for as long as you like. So if you only want to use my course for 2 to 3 months, that's fine. That means you'll be billed, I think, what is that, about $108? So, but my recommendation is probably you'll need to use it more than that, but you can do whatever you like. All right, anyway, thank you very much for your comments, and good luck to you. I definitely think you can reach your goal. It'll take some good, solid practice over a few months. If you're patient, if you're consistent and study regularly, you will be able to reach your goal.